Good evening, folks. This is CloudChartist with your weekly Ichimoku wrap-up. Just bear with me. It seems that I am indeed streaming live. All right. Welcome to the show. So we're going to start off with the crude chart, light sweet crude. This is the July contract. I'm using the continuous contract on my weekly charts because they have sufficient data. There might be some discrepancies between the weekly charts and the current contract, but probably not too bad. So looking at crude, we see that we are overall, and one side note, I'll apologize, due to a bug in the broadcasting software, I don't have a cursor, but I do have crosshairs, so I hope you can see my crosshairs. So the crude chart is overall still bearish, although we see that we do have some bullish divergences. And when I say overall bearish in Ichimoku charts, I'm talking about under the cloud. Anytime price action is under the cloud on Ichimoku, it's bearish. Anytime it's over the cloud, it's bullish. And there are some gradients to that. But so we have last week's candle, and I will zoom in now that you've seen the bigger picture. Last week's candle was a hammer, a green hammer. We came down and tested the Kijun-sen and bounced off it heartily, put in a very bullish day on Friday. But in overall candlestick charting, we see that we did not make a new high or a new low. A new higher high or a higher low. So we're still in a downtrend in basic candlestick charting. We do have the Tenkan-sen, which is this blue line here, coming up, which is trying to cross over the pink line, which is the Kijun-sen, in what is called a bull cross. If it does indeed do that, which it looks like it might as it's getting quite close, that will be a bullish divergence in the overall bearish chart. So what I'm looking for this week is to see whether crude can hold not only the Kijun-sen, but also the Tenkan-sen below. And when the new candle opens up, we'll see where that lands. But currently, the Tenkan-sen is at 54.82. We're quite a bit above that right now. And I'll also be seeing if crude can get over the highs of these prior candles, which is in around 62. So still in downtrend, but potential reversal candle coming in last week. Let's go to the ES. ES is still in, and if you watch me from time to time, each week, I've been saying this for quite a while, but the ES is very bullish, and except that we do have a flat Tenkan-sen up here and a flat Kijun-sen below. And what that represents in Ichimoku terms is mean reversion. So whenever you see a flat area, be it an indicator line like the Tenkan-sen or the Kijun-sen, or the cloud being flat, for instance, we can see that from June 29th, the cloud becomes quite flat for quite a while until August. Whenever you see a flat area, that is an area that price could be attracted to. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the current candle. So last week we put in a bearish candle after making a new high and making a potential reversal candle, doji, spinning top type doji. We came down and we did get some buyers coming in, so the candle closed off the lows, but it did create a lower high and a lower low, so a new downtrend. And if you are, by the way, watching me and you want to ask questions in the chat room, feel free. You can also hit me up on Twitter. And if you have any other charts that, after I'm sort of done, if you have any other charts you want me to look at, I'm happy to do so. But let me go through my main futures contracts first. So anyway, back to the flat Tenkan-sen here could attract price. So we could see further selling down to the 2083.75 level. I would not be surprised to see that. and I would be looking to buy the ES at that level, 2083.75, unless we start selling below the Tenkan-sen, and especially if we close the week below the Tenkan-sen, I would look for further downside towards the Kijun-sen, which is also flat at 2047.75. So if we do get some selling, and we do sell down to 2083.75 or even to 2047.75, overall the ES is still fully bullish, and there's even plenty of room before we even hit the cloud. I mean, we could come all the way down to 1944 and still be overall fully bullish on the weekly time frame on the ES. So keep that in mind. A healthy correction would not necessarily mean a crash. As much as everybody seems to want to crash. Let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq has had the Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen flat for a while, and you can see that price action has been testing the Tenkan-sen, but we continue to close heartily above the Tenkan-sen. And last week's candle put in an outside candle, meaning it did put in a higher high, but it did put in a lower low also. So no change of trend in the outside candle. So we're in an existing uptrend for Nasdaq. If we do see further selling, we could sell down to 4407.25, which is the Tenkan-sen, and I would consider that to be a nice buy point. Where the Nasdaq chart is slightly different from the ES chart is the cloud is sort of going more sideways than up. So keep that in mind. We could sell down to the Kijun-sen at 42.9850, and then eventually we could even sell down to 40.1578 on the Nasdaq with retaining the bullish characteristic of the chart. Let's look at the Russell. Similar to the ES and Nasdaq, I've been pointing out for the last several weeks that there is this flat, twisted cloud down here below that's very thin on the Russell. That is dangerous in that whenever you see this type of cloud on an Ichimoku chart, you are worried that price action could come down and test that cloud. Actually, my cursor is locked up, so I'll keep talking and hopefully it will unfreeze itself. The broadcasting software puts a lot of strain on my poor 2009 17-inch MacBook Pro, but until Apple gets around to making a 17-inch non-glossy screened laptop, I'm not buying another one. So anyway, we see that the Russell did hold the Tenkan-sen at 1240.40 last week with a close over it. So everything is still fully bullish for the Russell. Keep that level in mind, 1240.40. If we do lose that level, then we could come down and test the Kijun-sen at 1202.70. And alas, my cursor is still frozen. Sometimes Thinkorswim does stuff before the open that can cause strange behaviors. I'm going to pause for a moment and restart my platform, and I'll just do it live while we're here. Oh, I might as well go. All right, I'm going to go, and then I'm going to come back in a second. So bear with me and hang on and come back, and I'll be back in a second.